Okay, so good evening. This is Michele Ho Lung, the R.E.A.L Sparkle Diva. This is the 34th episode of the Sparkle Experience Show, and I'm so happy to have some special, very special guests here with me tonight. They are returning special guests, and we're closing off 2024 today and welcoming in 2025. So we're gonna be doing our best to entertain and inform and inspire. Uh, One of the things that I'd like to do is with me here on my the other way is Catherine Sarais, and I have here Pam Heath as well. She's a Yes Coach, and Eric, who is reggae artist and One Cell Energetics. He was has the claim to fame to have been on the set with on Cocktails with Tom Cruise many years ago as the entrance scene with a reggae band in the bar. So, anyways, good evening, everyone. And Catherine, I want to start with you, and then we'll go around the room and have you just introduce yourself briefly. You're on mute. You're on mute.
I always do that. Some things are consistent, aren't they? So I work with individuals who are in relationships with those that have been diagnosed with Asperger's. Really, though, the techniques that I use work with any sort of intimate relationship. Basically, the premise is we establish the trust and set up the foundation, and people are able to enjoy more intimate and fulfilling and sustainable supportive partnerships and marriages. And that's
beautiful. Beautiful. Because you were on for the ND plus NT equals love.
Absolutely.
That was so informative. Amazing. Okay, so let's talk to Pam now.
Hi, I'm Pam Heath, and I'm the Yes Coach. And I call myself the Yes Coach because I coach from a positive mindset. And I teach my clients to say yes to life. Inside of saying yes to life, making all their dreams come true and living the life that they love. And that's my mission in life. And I bring that mission with all the love in my heart. So I'm excited to help you close out the new year, the year of 2024, and opening up for what's possible in the new coming year in 2025.
Wonderful, Pam. Nice to have you here tonight. And then Eric. You're on mute. You're on mute.
Yes. Greetings. Well, I'm a musician, right? And I'm also an energy worker. Basically, I like to clear all the baggage, the trauma, the stress, the limitation, and the fear and the phobia that everybody wrestles with, and just bring clarity to the situation so you can have the option to utilize your equanimity. Go straight down the middle, go to the left, go to the right. You have choices in everything, and that's me, basically.
That's great. Thank you, Eric. So one of the things we wanted to talk about was what was one big aha from the year 2024 that you had, any of you? Who would like to go first? Pam, sure.
So I'll go. One of the biggest ahas I had in 2024 was understanding that life is designed to empower you. And any kind of worry or stress or concern is really a waste of time, because life happens the way it happens intentionally, and it's designed to give you the best in life. So if you're getting something, and this is the aha that I had, if you're getting something that you don't appreciate or don't like, it's not because it's wrong that you're getting it. It's because you're not appreciating what it's for. And so my getting cancer and my overcoming cancer was all part of a very, very large plan to have me be compassionate for people and what they're up to in life and be able to empower them to go for their dreams. And if I hadn't had cancer and if I hadn't overcome it, I might not have been ready to have compassion for every single human being that I meet. And so I recognized really powerfully that everything happens for a reason and that there is no accidents and that God doesn't make mistakes. So I accepted life and I was given life, and I'm now here to let everybody know that life is beautiful. And thank you for the opportunity.
That was a very huge thing though, Pam. I mean, it's a huge lesson in faith too, isn't it? Going through what you went through. I mean, you were a trooper.
Yes, absolutely. My faith was, there were times when it did waver. It wavered. There was opportunities for me to give up, and I didn't give up, and I kept going strong. And with Michele's help and with Catherine's help, when they did the surgery to remove the tumor, her coaching and her support made the surgery painless, which to this day I'm still astonished that I had no pain, that I woke up after the surgery with no pain. And again, it's all inside of a very definite plan that had me go through what I went through so that I could be compassionate for others and what they're going through and support and empower them. And I gave myself over to the process, and the process brought me through. And I'm standing here now in remission from third stage pancreatic cancer, which has an 18% survival rate. And I'm sitting here right now because of the people who are on this call. So I'm grateful, 100% grateful for life.
Thank you so much for that share, Pam. Awesome. I see we have Sandra here too. Thank you for that share. I mean, we have big things that we go through in life, big things, and sometimes we can succumb to the the percentages and give up hope right without even trying. And to your credit, you push through. And what I like to say to people is that there is hope. I mean, Catherine does some serious stuff with the therapy work she does. Eric does some really cool energy stuff as well. I mean, that's how we met each other. And and Sparkle can, whatever we do in terms of the therapies, it still boils down to the individual who is going through whatever it is they're going through. Because as much as we want the best and we want the person to heal and transform and get all sorts of miracles, it's not up to the person who is trying to support and help and give the energy work and do the therapy work with the individual. It is the person. Do you have that will within you? How can you light yourself up? Can you see the end result where you're healthy again? And so good on you. Thank you so much for that share. Okay, who's next? Eric.
Yeah,
You're
so
on mute. Oh, okay.
yeah, basically, it's not a resolution, but more of an observation. A lot of people going through a lot of stuff, sometimes it's their karma and an experience that's required for them to really make a change within themselves, right? So I'm not into like, come on, kind of a thing. It's like, here are the ups, the pros and the cons, right? And it's your choice, whatever you choose. But I'm not gonna sit here and argue with you or bicker with you or try to convince you about what it is, because you know what it is, right? I mean, if you have a hot stone in your hand and it's burning you, the easiest thing for you to do is just to go like this, right? And let it go. So if you don't want to let it go and you want to hang on to it, then you must know what is the investment that you've made. What is so important that you are so afraid to let that go and it's hurting you so much? You know what I mean? So if that's your road, then that's your road. But no more time and wasting. You know, and it's not that like I'm gonna cut someone short or anything like that. I'm just saying, if you're not serious, don't waste my time. And I'm not gonna waste your time. If you come to me, I'm gonna tell you the truth, you know, and it's up to you to decide if you wanna go left, go right, or go center. And then whatever you choose, you know, I'll accept that and move accordingly. You know, because too often people have investment in whatever issues they're having or going through in life, you know. And like I say, sometimes the karma has to play out for them. You know, we don't want to interfere in the lesson that is required for them. You know, so that's like I say, my observation.
Isn't that true? Because sometimes I've had it where sometimes there is a transformation, but it comes back. And sometimes it comes back because there's something that person is receiving because of whatever it is was released. And when they find that they're not getting that payback, then subconsciously that situation comes back again. They allow it to come back because they're not ready to release it. So with the work we do, it's about getting to that root, and also for the person to be willing to release it. You know, and then of course someone up there. You know, it's not something that is done independently of God or supreme being, or, you know, someone up there who looks after us. It's something that is a gift. It's love. It's light, right? So
yeah. Bottom line, we got to do the work.
Mm-hmm.
You know, nothing is gonna change if we don't do the work.
And the we is not just the person helping and supporting. It's also the person who is trying to get through whatever situation it is, because
definitely
it's mental toughness too as well, and allowing. So Ahaz, Catherine, what would you like to share?
Well, trust is a fundamental part of relationship. And this year I discovered Justin Furness's circle of trust. And with his permission, I use it as a roadmap with my clients to show them how they can create and maintain fulfilling, engaging, and supportive intimate relationships. And it is quite profound. It's quite simple in its structure. It is literally, it's a circle. There's some things inside the circle and outside. Very, very simple, deceptively simple, and incredibly profound. And it has been a game changer.
Very nice.
Just want to give a shout out to him and to thanks for sharing it with me, sharing it with the world. And because I believe that part of the something that is important for me is integrity. It's not mine. Of course, there's also nothing new. I learned it from him, so I wish to give him the respect for sharing it with me.
And sometimes it's just a construct. Sometimes it's a way it's expressed. I mean, we speak around it, we talk about it. I talk about certain things, but when there's a way to present it so it's visual, and I think you mentioned it was very visual, that really, a picture gives you is worth 1,000 words. So once you can illustrate it in a diagram that speaks to a lot of people, makes it simple to understand, then that's pretty powerful.
It is. I totally agree with you. And I also recall, I think it's a saying that's often attributed to Picasso, which is something along the lines of average artists borrow, great artists steal. Now, I'm not stealing Justin's stuff, but I've used it as a springboard to help convey and move forward with the work that I'm doing as well. And yeah, all this stuff, it belongs to all of us.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'd like to say it's not, I don't like the word steal so much. I think great artists, being an artist myself, it's not a matter of stealing, it's adapting, because as an artist, you're not really going to want to just use somebody else's thing. You're creative. So you may take a little bit of that and a little bit of this, and you add a little bit of your own flavor to it. Exactly. So I would think of it more as an adaptation, or you make the things that work for you with that person's genius, add that into the mix and put a little seasoning on it.
I think of it as a springboard, springboarding into something that can be even further along, further developed. So yeah.
I'd like to say, basically, there's no shame in your game. We all do this because humanity is always expanding and evolving, right? So if you can empower and expand, and whatever he has done, whatever I have done, or anyone else has done, that it's the whole thing. Nothing has changed. The wheel hasn't changed at all. We are utilizing the same energy, the same force, but we all have different avenues or different ways of explaining or getting to whatever we're getting at, So that's really, really, awesome expansion wise. You know what I mean? If I had something, I want you to run with it. I want everybody to run with it. It's not for me, it's for humanity.
But Catherine has a good point, though.
Very well put.
She gave Justin the credit because he's the one she learned it from. And it's building on, that's what progress is about. It's building on the genius of other people and adding to it and making it better and better and better. And that's what I think each of us we're here to do is to find that thing that's going to help us to move forward together. And that's what I like about this community, is we're helping each other to move forward, to build. And in that, so we started out professionally, and it becomes friendships. And I know there's people who say, as in business, you can't be friends with your clients and things like that. But I have a different viewpoint of that. I kind of like to think that as you work with people and you evolve together, you become friends, and you can still maintain that client, depending, because we all have different expertise, and therefore we learn from each other, and we can still have that engagement as client, mentor, and so forth, back and forth. It just depends on what you're working through, what you're working with. So
I love her approach, recognizing the creator, right, of the process, or the protocol, whatever it might be. That's a good thing, but it's like going to 5 different universities and learning different things and incorporating everything and utilizing it the way you see fit. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Everything is like that, I think.
Right. So the other question that we were talking about was, is there one thing that, looking back on 2024, that you would change, you would not do, or you would have done totally differently? Oh, Catherine.
Oh, yes, this one is speaking to me. I would have documented my journey. I have no social media, landing page, website, and that's certainly something that I'm changing in 2025. And and why did I take so long? Well, that was one of the things that I was working through. And so that's okay. I'll start when I start, and it will be fine. So that's my lesson.
Beautiful, because you have some really lovely stories that, I mean, you know, the ones you shared on this episode with the neurodivergent and the neurotypical, and just that opening of my eyes as to what I didn't understand. You know, it was very, very humbling. And to have to gain that understanding from just your sharing, and you know, I think more people need to know about these stories, and if you can communicate it, it will help so many more people to understand each other. And if we understand each other, then the light in the world can shine brighter, and that's what I like seeing. That's why we do the work we do, right?
Thank you, Michelle. Thank you. You honor me.
You're welcome. I mean every word. So, is there anything, Eric, you would have changed or done differently, or would have not done in the last 2024 past months?
I think basically just reminded myself that the work that I do, right? The information doesn't come from me. And I have this thing that I say, basically standing in the truth, accepting the truth, allowing the truth, embracing the truth in all areas of my life. Total surrender to the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, without making any apologies to anyone, starting with myself first and then others. And whatever the energy says, that's the direction I go. You know, because we tend to want to get kind of overly emotional when it's like, especially when you're dealing with family members and stuff like that, because we know them and da 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 da. And just reminding myself to be totally neutral, you know. And whenever I recognize that I'm not, I hit the rewind button, you know, and start again from A.
That's a very
being honest with
important
myself
thing.
about it.
You bring up a very important thing, because I mean, we're all human, no matter what we do on this earth, whether we're the best, the most revered guru, you know, sitting on the mountain and we're just calm all the time, or we still are human. So when there are triggers that come into our day, especially with family, you know, family has that way of just getting in there when nothing else phases you but the family. Just one little intonation or a look or something, and it just gets you off. And it's the most amazing thing for me, because I notice it in myself, you know, and it's, how do you get to that point? And this is what I talk about being CEO of you, is how do you get to that point where you are able to be in control of yourself most of the time versus not so much of the time. And as we evolve, I think when you start to understand yourself better and you start to get above that feeling, being triggered state, the reactive state, that becomes a very powerful thing, because then when you're in a space of happy, because that's where you'd be if we didn't have all these triggers and these reactions, right? When we're in that space of happy, we can change the world within ourselves in our bodies around us, we can attract so many beautiful things into our life with synchronicities. And we may be good in some areas, but not so good in other areas, right? We may have our expertise in subject matter, be subject matter experts in one facet of life, but not so much in the other. And so, we need each other to kind of help us along the way. And it's a beautiful thing to recognize that we need to be neutral. And how do we get there?
And being a good navigator too. Because you have to navigate.
Yeah, I mean, Pam, you could talk to that too on your journey with the going through all the treatments for pancreatic cancer, right? It's not easy. Building a business, we can go through a whole bunch of stuff with business. In family, which you were referring to, we can go through a whole bunch of stuff with that too. And it all comes together because it's all part of our organization as a CEO of ourselves. All those facets. How do we manage those facets of our life and then be able to navigate it and keep ourselves beautiful and neutral and happy in all of it? We talk about being CEO of the company, and business, but for me, it's always been, how do I get to be a better controller of how I react? And I'm not perfect. I've had some deep dives recently. It still comes back to, what is it within ourselves that is triggering it? Is it this lifetime? Is it past lifetimes? Is it things that are coming at us, energies from other people that are invading our space or getting us riled, or words? And it is just to find that peace within and realize that we can find it.
I was just gonna say that basically, right, if we're being triggered, then basically it's something coming from the past, because whatever is happening is not happening
right
at
now.
this moment in time. It has already happened.
Mm-hmm.
So I say basically that's where to go or where to look, because if you're being triggered, then yeah, it's definitely the past or the future that you're concerned about.
Or somebody's sending you some bad energy.
Well, that too.
That's also something that can happen.
Yes, that's definitely an option.
Yeah, so it's not always a past, but a lot of times
No, it's not restricted to the past,
yeah, but a lot of times it is a past, and sometimes it's just programmed in there, right?
Yeah, triggers.
Yeah. So Pam, anything that you would have done differently or not done or changed?
Yeah, now that I'm winding down to the end of the year and I look back on the year and the things that happened, there was a lot of worry and stress that I had that was irrelevant and unnecessary, because everything always turns out. And there were times when I doubted that. I doubted that things were going to turn out, and I would stress and worry about it. And I ended up having a heart attack, which my cardiologist told me was pure stress related, and it was not physical. It was mental and emotional. And so what I would have done differently is I need to establish for myself in my heart and in my life the full, complete and absolute surrender to God that everything's going to turn out. And if it's happening, it's supposed to be happening, versus being afraid of what I anticipate is not going to happen and then worrying about it. So for me, the thing to take on for 2025 is no stress, no worry, full, absolute surrender, spiritually, mentally, and emotionally to God.
That's beautiful. That is utopia, Pam. If we could all do what you just said, it would be just totally euphoria, because we would be having all these beautiful things just flooding us, because that's what holds us back, is the worry and the flight and fright state
Yeah.
that gets our adrenaline going and shuts down our immune system, so it can't even function. All it wants to do is run. And so if we could do that, and it would, not just in health, but in wealth and in tech and in all the stuff, if we could do that, we would be much more at peace and much more able to cope and actually break through the barriers and the ceilings above us that seem to keep us, pushed down or weighed down.
Yes, absolutely. And
So I really love how you express that just now. And I see we have DK here somewhere. He made it through the traffic. Hey DK, you're gonna have to answer all the questions all at once now. No
It's
pressure.
like a speed drill, right?
No pressure.
Well, I do come from the center of calmness, so it's just,
Yeah.
even in massive Houston traffic,
Oh yeah,
we
yeah.
had
Yeah.
the I-45 was jammed up pretty nice. 2 accidents. It's excellent.
Oh, is it? Yeah, because we were just talking about we're on the what is the thing that you would have changed, not done, or done differently in 2024 looking back? That's a question that we were just on. But before you do that, can you introduce yourself for just a little bit for viewers?
Sure. All right. I am DK Warner. I'm currently residing in Houston, Texas, and I do a combination of business consulting and helping folks with finding their place of inner peace and finding a place that's productive in a way that's fun, right? So rather than the kind of, how would you say, the Yang method of just kind of pushing through the pain, we take the pain away. We take the pain away internally through alignments, through relaxation, through tapping into those deep wells of inner peace that we already have, but just have forgotten about. And then that allows us to move forward much more quickly, solve problems faster, have greater clarity, focus, and accomplishment.
Very nice. Thank you for that. So, does anything come to mind on that question?
What would I do differently?
Or not do, or have changed?
What I would have done differently this year is that I would have, and this is what I'm going to be doing going forward, right, which is probably the point of your question, is to identify critical distractions more quickly so that I could eliminate them. Because there were things that looked like they were supportive, looked like they were activities that would, that were, how would you put it? Seemingly in the right direction, seemingly enjoyable, seemingly productive, but looking back on it, were a massive distraction. And earlier detection of that and eliminating that kind of activity, to the point where greater focus could be applied to the critical path that I had in mind, for moving my programs forward, for serving more clients, for addressing the needs of more businesses. I would see that as in my life, a fairly obvious thing that would have changed the year quite substantially.
Mm-hmm. It's always nice to take a look back, isn't it?
Definitely, yeah. And in my world, it's easy to get distracted, right? I'm in wonderful communities. There's shiny objects flying around everywhere, and there's lots of opportunities to collaborate. And some of those are great, and some of those are just not aligned with what I'm actually doing, right? And it's not that what I pursued was necessarily, out of line or out of boundary for me per se. But it was just more that the level of alignment, and did that activity really truly support my path forward? Did I gain momentum or not? And when I call out a distraction going forward, it's going to be that activity that perhaps is draining a lot of time and energy, but is not really adding momentum.
Yeah, it's maintaining that focus and where you want to go.
Exactly.
So, yeah, very cool. So, we're gonna hit you with a second question. What is
Rapid fire. The
your
speed
one
round.
your one big aha in 2024, looking back?
Looking back on 2024, I have had, I'm going to call it the privilege of experiencing time. And I know that's going to sound weird because we all experience time, right? But I've had the opportunity through the experiences I've had this year to experience what time is like when it's not completely packed full of stuff, right? Which is how I've really, if you look back at my life from, say, 2019, when I really started the journey of personal development, of entrepreneurship, of business launch in earnest, and really began putting a lot of effort and energy into it with commitment and not with procrastination. Till now, it's been jam packed, right? I've had full time commitment during the day. I'm in massive and very in-depth trainings at night. Some business development work and as well some production and some content generation, right? So you put all that together, that's a very busy day, and I could just say, oh, the time is flying because it's full, right? Well, I had some experiences this particular year where I had some months that were not full, where I had really pared back a lot of those activities. And what was interesting and a little bit more than a little bit jarring to me looking back on it is that the time moved just as fast, right? Empty or much lighter in activity or much lighter in how many things were deliberately pulling at me as before, but yet the time moved just as fast, right? So to me the jarring part of that is that it wasn't really a function of my busyness, right? So I see time from a new perspective now, and so now I have a chance to focus my mind in on the minutes and the moments. In a way that I wouldn't have been able to do before outside of just blindly following some advice, which I was prepared to do, right? There's plenty of habit systems out there that say, okay, chunk down your time into 5-minute blocks and 10-minute blocks. And I think Catherine even recommended that I jump on a group and spend time on a focused activity, like while staring at other people on Zoom. And that actually worked a little bit too, right? And those are all ways of leveraging time, right? But, now having the experience of just almost seeing time fly by, right, and seeing how fast it goes. It's
Right.
just a chilling reminder that the moments are coming and going, right, and it's up to us as to how deep we want to jump in the river and swim, whether it's against the current or with it, whatever we want to do. This is our time.
Yeah.
To put our foot in the water and get something done.
I guess I've always recognized time goes fast, and my sister would probably say that I always present myself as there's no time, right? Because I wrote a poem that was about the stallion and time as being fleeting, as like a stallion running through the wind, and that time is lost and will never again be found, So
Yeah.
that was as a 14-year-old or somewhere in there, I wrote that thing. So I already felt time going fast. And the thing is, how can we utilize the time and appreciate too? I mean, there's a thing with a business and the building of business, but there's also the heart time, the time to make it where if we lose someone, it's not going to be a regret. It's going to be where we spent time. And it doesn't have to be a lot of time, but it just needs to be quality time. So we, people talk about balance a lot, and I tend to be a workaholic, but at the same time again, it's where I've never looked at it as a balance of absolute time. I've looked at it as a balance of what is the memories around that time, or the quality. It has that component of a feeling state or of a engagement state within that, thing of time.
Totally. Yeah. I definitely see it from the point of view of the quality of the experience. And with different views on time, I'm careful about how I speak of it now,
Yeah.
because I have actually heard that how you speak of time can affect your experience of it, right?
Right.
And from my point of view, though, and I agree with you totally that a so-called short experience can be a memory of a lifetime, and a very long experience can be a total waste
Right.
at the same
So
time.
if we're gonna get us sparkling, we need to get to this. I want to ask a question because when you all came on the show, I had said, so you'll get sparkled, and then we'll come back on and we'll check in and see if there's anything that, anything that changed, one to three things, anything you noticed as a result since your last sparkle that has happened in your life.
I'd like to go.
Sure.
Okay. So really, first and foremost, my right shoulder no longer dislocates, which is just absolutely incredible. My shoulder began dislocating almost a couple of decades ago. Like, yeah, I'm old as dirt. So it happened. And it would happen on and off throughout the years. And then I got into a period of 7-8 years where it was happening at least once a year. And when Michele noticed that I was in pain, she asked me about it. And I completely expected, believing what my doctors had told me, that yes, the more that it dislocates, the easier that it will be that it dislocates again. And so just to expect it, and I was expecting it, and Michele goes, no, like, what for? You don't have to do
you said
that.
you told me, you said it's been dropping out of my socket for 27 years, I think you
There
said.
you go.
And you said, expect that it's just going to start falling out every minute. And I said,
It would
because it was on the phone, and I said, Catherine, just a minute, is that what you really want, to have it drop out?
right.
And you thought, hell no.
Exactly. So you worked with me and assisted me at not only to realign the head of that bone where it should be, but I mean, it was like so well put together that there's a strength in my shoulder now that I didn't have. And it has now been more than 3 years since it last dislocated, which is, I mean, just absolutely incredible. I'll pick stuff up, I'll reach, I'll do all sorts of things, and nothing. Whereas before, it could be something very, very simple as reaching forward, overextending, and boom, it's out again. And as I say, that no longer happens. So thank you very much for that. That's, I mean,
You're welcome.
that's pretty incredible to me.
Oh, by the way, this was on the phone that it happened, because you couldn't move your arm. You were in pain every which way you moved it. And on the phone, because you were catching it up with a keyboard return when you're on the Zoom call.
Right, exactly. I have
But you're in pain.
keyboard tray that
Right.
pulls out in my elbow was stabilizing my shoulder. And there was a lot of pain, but it enabled me to just stabilize my shoulder and remind me not to
We were
move it.
on the phone, and you were able to do this after we were ending the call,
Absolutely.
right?
Yeah. Pretty remarkable.
So Sparkle is pretty cool.
Oh, definitely. Most definitely.
Yeah.
And thank you.
You're welcome. So, anyone else have anything that you noticed?
I, 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 I,
Well, for me, it's been a while since I've been through a sparkle.
Mhm.
At the same time, I have noticed since and really my objective, I think when I went to you, Michelle, for a sparkle, it was about energy and ability to get things accomplished. I have noticed the lightening of my energy in general, and I would actually say that the downtrend and the uptrend that I've experienced this year could have been a lot worse, as far as the depth of experience, if I hadn't had the sparkle beforehand. So yeah, I would say that it kept the trough low. It allowed me to pivot faster, and in general, the energetic cost of some of the emotional things I was going through at the time was, if I feel anyway, smaller than it would have been.
Yeah, thank you for that. Sparkle actually, from my observation of the all the people have worked on over the years, is that it brings a calmness and a clarity that's crystal. Like one of my clients years ago said it was like it compartmentalized everything in her brain. And before, she was in a panic and she was traveling all over. A tech person, and her mom was, all things were going on, and she said she just felt like everything got organized in her brain in little pockets, little compartments, and she was no longer flustered because she could just go, oh, I need that, oh, I need that. That's how she described it to me. She said it was pretty incredible. And that allows people to then carry on and be at a different level of processing, if you will, or cognitive ability to just get through the overwhelm and the stress. And so this is something that I find with my experience too, with energy work and things, it's unique to Sparkle so far, because I know quite a few different modalities, and this is from even feedback, it's different. So thanks for that share, and I think that maybe you need a Sparkle, which is coming up soon.
That'd
Like
be
a
wonderful. I
a
have a
little
different
tune up at the end of this little discussion here.
I have a different target tonight. I'm just kind of keying off of Catherine's wonderful shoulder miracle. So I'll be ready.
Okay. Eric, anything to share?
Well,
Eric and I work together actually because sometimes I need a tune up too, and Eric will help me a bit out there because sometimes we can't get to things ourselves, right? So, but Eric, anything to?
well, I think being a little bit more expanded, I've definitely noticed that, and yeah, the clarity is definitely there as well. So I look forward to that. Every time I step into it, the experience is there. So it's like, oh yeah, all right now. So I give
'Cause
thanks for that.
oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. Because Eric has Chinese in him, eh? So Eric's grandmom was Chinese, right?
Yeah, her name is Lee.
Lee? Yeah.
Yeah, we call her Mother Lee.
Yeah. And she was also she was a healer of sorts, he was telling me, in Jamaica.
Yeah, she said that we couldn't run a business like how she does her stuff because she says the Holy Spirit guide her through everything that she did. And she couldn't take money for it either. She says she didn't want to lose her gift, so to speak. But she was like basically the village healer. All the preachers from all the different churches always trying to get her out to come to their congregation. And she says no.
Yeah, very
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, that was definitely a good experience for me growing up. I was always around it.
Mm-hmm. Very
I didn't
nice.
understand it as much as I do now, but it was like I was kind of building up to it. And it's amazing too because a lot of the stuff that I was doing was always around energy. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Martial arts, soccer, you know, bit of qigong here and there.
Yeah, qigong is good for the energy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
So Pam, anything you'd like to share?
I think for me, the conversation for the sparkle is, it's like the buildup of what it took to transform the illness in my body and dissipate it so that it's no longer there. And I noticed that for myself, it's hard to pinpoint exactly what was happening, only that something was happening. Something was managing my energy that the doctors couldn't explain and didn't understand. And I have just been released from the health insurance had what they call the well care program, because I lived alone, because of my age, and because I had a very serious cancer I was dealing with. They had a nurse practitioner, a social worker, and a nutritionist that would come visit me once a month. And they ended that program last week because I don't need it anymore. I am now officially in remission. I'm cancer free, and the doctors are astounded. The oncologist told me very frankly that he had never seen anything like it. It's my age that has them astonished that I lived through and survived, and I declined any more chemotherapy, any radiation. I did 4.5 months of chemo, and then I said no more, even though the doctor's recommendation was for me to do 3 more months. I ended it. I didn't need it. And I told them that. And at first there was some pushback, and my oncologist was absolutely sheepish when I saw him last. He just said, I've never seen anything like this. And this is how we treat cancer, and there's no need anymore because you don't have any more cancer. So the thing I can say, it's not so much what happened between the last sparkle and now. What I can say to you emphatically, that this whole year of sparkle has built up such a resistance to disease and illness that I am completely free of illness, and there is no explanation in general medicine. So all I can say is that sparkling is to life what oxygen is to human beings. You need it, you can't live without it, and you must have it. So all I can say is I can't put my finger on it or articulate it. Without sparkle, I probably wouldn't be here.
Thank you for that, Pam. People might think it's easy to do what we do, the energy healing. I get a lot of criticism for doing this. My family doesn't necessarily all believe in it or think I do anything for anybody. And it's nice to get acknowledgement that I do what I do, and I do explain it, but it's not my place to explain, because it's a gift from God, and I don't consider that I'm the one I don't know what's happening in your body when I work on you, literally. I just know I'm working on you. And it's a knowing, and it's a gift, and it's energy. And you told me when you first met me that you could see me. And I had no idea what that meant, because I can't see energy. I don't get things talking to me in my head like a lot of intuitives. I just have a knowing, and I just go after it with the way I go after it. And so, when you tell me that you don't see anybody else doing the things I do with the energy, I have to believe you because I can't see it. But thank you for that visual too, as well, and the other thing is that, yeah, I believe everybody needs sparkle, but it's to get people to realize that they do need sparkle without, I mean, it's a very difficult thing to be going after to help people. And a lot of people they don't know they want to be helped, or they resist being helped because they feel that it's too much money because insurance doesn't cover it. But my thing is, when you're sick, and it's too late by then, right? So what are you doing to get a tune up? Because sparkle isn't just about, it's not, for me, it is a tuning up deep within that allows you to fire up your own divine spark, where you can actually start to heal yourself when you get clear enough and have a high enough frequency of vibration, because all the things that are weighing you down have somehow got released, sometimes miraculously, right? Because that's one of the things with sparkle, is sometimes people are told by other people that they've changed because they had no clue, because the triggers that used to trigger them do not have an effect anymore on them, because something with sparkle allowed it to get released through the others, through the window, through the doors, as I put it. And it's pretty cool when that happens, right? So, and then one thing I haven't really said to anybody what my one-aha was for the year, looking back. My one-aha is that there is something that out there that's a technology that I don't know why. Well, I do know why. Like, I don't usually get on the bandwagon to try and sell anything. But this little device, and Pam is using it right now, my aha was that if everybody could get this little device and have it in their homes and with their families, they could get their health issues elevated where they may not have any health issues anymore. Because this little device actually neutralizes pretty much every toxin I can think of in your home and atmosphere. It doesn't cost, sure, it costs less than $1,000. However, when you think about all the things it does, what it did for me, because I don't really have any health issues per se, is it brought me peace of mind, because I don't have to worry about radon gas. I don't have to worry about carbon monoxide, H2S, mold growing in my house and getting me, nauseated or fogged up in my brain, because that's what mold does. It gets you into this malaise and you don't even know what's happening. And it's in a lot of homes and people don't know about it. It gets rid of dust mites out of your mattress. I don't have allergies to it, but I know dust mites are really not nice, right? With all the feces. It gets rid of TVOCs, the toxic, the organic, volatile organic compounds. That Parkinson's disease, I've been covering it on the show, and in the areas of Mississippi where they have very, very high 2.5 nanometer particulate matter, air pollution, there's a direct correlation to the percentage of 56% of the population has Parkinson's. And Parkinson's average age of getting it is 60 years old. So what that tells me is your air pollution is high. You need to get one of these so you don't have that. You can actually reduce the probability you're going to get Parkinson's. Radon gas, number 2 leading cause of lung cancer in people who do not smoke. Actually, it's the number 1 way if you don't smoke. Radon gas is undetectable, and we don't test for it, most of us, because we don't want to spend the money. This unit, you get this one little unit, you don't have to test, you just know you won't be affected by radon gas. I mean, how beautiful is that, right? Cleans your ductwork out. I use it for dry cleaning of my jackets, because it really deodorizes everything. And so for myself, it's like, if I had the money, I'd buy a unit for each one of you, so that you'd be safe. And then when I do the sparkle, I'd start at a different level of health in your body. Because when this thing is in your atmosphere, your body can start to heal your body, do the repair work in your body as soon as you go to sleep. Whereas if you don't have a unit, your body, I've read research on this, your body has to start to get rid of the toxins first, because it's in toxin overload before it can actually start to do the healing work your body needs. Right? So my big aha was, if I knew of this unit, if somebody had told me about this unit, even like a few years ago, it's been around for 30 years. Ron has been using his unit for 18. My mom might be still alive because she got pneumonia in the hospital. And had I known about this unit, I would have put one in her hospital room. So my big aha was, I need to get this information out to people. If they're suffering from allergies, from asthma, COPD, all of these things, I can't necessarily help them with Sparkle, because sure I can, but if you can help yourself first with a unit, why not get the unit, help yourself up a bit, and then get rid of whatever you can't manage. You know what I'm saying? So that was my aha, is to share this information so that the people who have families that are suffering can get some respite and stop the cycle of kids getting sick at daycare and school, or at people getting sick in the restaurants they work on, and just keeping safer overall. But again, maybe the powers that be don't want people to be that healthy, right? Because if they're all well, you don't have anybody going to the hospitals, So anyway, my thing is about helping people to feel better, be better, and do better. And so, that's kind of what my thoughts were on my biggest aha this year was, oh my God, my mom could still be alive. And the other part was, one of my friends' mom died early this year because she got pneumonia for the same reason. She fell down and was in the hospital for a fractured hip, and she died from pneumonia in the hospital in Toronto earlier this year. So this is not something trivial. It's something that I think, it's worth the investment, and it's a hard battle because it takes about 4 hours to even get people to understand and listen. and then it's not a profit-making kind of thing to be selling, because it takes people a while before they really get it. Pam, you have your unit, and I think it's keeping you safe, which is really nice.
Well, yeah, I wanted to add, because you brought it up, that it was a aha for me too when you shared about it. And at the time I wasn't working, I was still very much involved in fighting the cancer. I remember thinking, when I heard you and Ronnie talking about the unit, I must have it, and it was $800, and I didn't have $800, and I managed to get it together and got my unit, and I got one for the car as well. And I can say emphatically that there is a difference. There is a definite difference in the atmosphere. I can't see my molecules in my cells, so I don't know how they're responding to this unit, but I can tell you the biggest thing that I notice is there are no odors in my home, and there are no odors in my car. And I took up driving for Lyft as a way to earn money on the side because I wasn't working. And I've had it demonstrated to me that people can come into my car smelling like something, and they're not in my car very long before there is no smell in my car. So the strength of this air purifier removes the odors very, very quickly. And so, like I said, I can't speak to what it's doing to my cells and molecules. All I know is that I've had this unit now. I received it in September. It is now December. and that in August, they did labs on me after the surgery where they removed the tumor in my spleen. And they found 2 of my lymph nodes had tested positive for cancerous cells, which is why they wanted me to continue with the chemo. And I declined. And they did more labs, and those cancerous cells are no longer present in my body. And the thing you want to know is this: yes, the sparkle, but I think it has something to do with this unit as well. Like I believe, and this is what has been said to me, that these units that I purchase are purifying the air, and that I'm no longer breathing in carcinogens. I'm no longer breathing in my home or in the car, anything, bacteria, anything that is harmful is being eliminated before I bring it into my body through my breathing. And that is why the doctor, like I said, my oncologist was sheepish when I went to him last, because he had nothing. He couldn't tell me what was going on because he had no idea, because he has nothing to do with it. It isn't him. It's the unit that I have. It's the energy work that I've been exposed to. And there is no explanation for that other than it's powerful, it's a gift, and I appreciate it. So I just wanted to add my voice to the thing about the unit. Everybody should have one. I'm telling everyone. I tell the people who ride in my car, there's an air purifier in here.
It's not an air purifier though. It's a generator of cold oxygen plasma. It's a difference. There's a lot of air purifiers.
I agree with you 100%. I'm sorry, I'm not going to say that to somebody who's into my Lyft car. It just doesn't communicate effectively, and they're only in for a couple of minutes.
For accuracy, I guess, air purifier might be the way to get the message across.
It's one thing to have someone say, "What's that thing?" Oh, it's a blah, 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 and I lost them. Okay, you feel me? It's like you want to be able to connect to people so they get it. You mentioned, and I heard you say it twice, it's hard to explain. Well, that's why it's hard to explain, because you feel the need to explain the whole thing, and nobody's going to sit still for the whole thing. But one of the things that I can communicate that gets across to them, you'll notice there's no odors in my car. And that's a really unique phenomena, given I live and drive in Las Vegas, Nevada. And there's no odors in my car. There's no odors in my home. None.
Oh, you used to have a weird smell in your home.
When I moved in here, there was a smell in here. As a matter of fact, I had complained to the management, I think something is dead in the walls. And since I had this unit, that smell is gone. There are no odors in my home. There are no odors in my car. I've had people get in that have odors. You know how people smell like booze, or they smell like whatever they smell like. It doesn't last long in my car. And when they get out, nothing. It doesn't linger. So those are the things. I just wanted to add that, because the thing that I'm clear about, and we talked about aha moments earlier. Aha, thank God I have this unit.
It kills COVID, and it's scientifically proven in accredited labs. It kills COVID in 0.44 of a second. Kills Listeria, Salmonella, E. coli, and a whole bunch of other things. So think about it this way. If you had this in your kitchen, you probably wouldn't get food poisoning either. Or in a restaurant, a buffet restaurant.
It kills so many things that I'm unaware of, that I don't even have to think about it.
That's right. You don't have to. If you had allergies, you wouldn't have to worry about what allergies.
Right, exactly. Well, I don't have allergies, but I do have asthma.
That you might find that it helps your asthma too. Because
and so I'm explaining that this unit, I knew when I heard you describing it, I knew I needed it. I just didn't know how I was going to get it because I didn't have the money, and I just kept putting it out there and putting it out there. I must have that. And I got it. It's just like I was saying earlier, the aha that I realized that everything happens for a reason. Somebody robbed me when I was in the hospital having surgery. Someone broke into my apartment and robbed me and stole $7,000 worth of my valuables. and I was insured, and I got an insurance check for $4,000, and I used that money to get the unit.
Mm-hmm.
And that was, for me, that was a turning point in my life. And the thing that you don't have to worry about it. It just sits there. You don't have to do anything. It does its thing, and it only needs you to replace a bulb every 2 or 3 years. It's like a no-brainer. And you mentioned people talking about, getting ill is when you get ill, you can't work, you feel miserable, and you also are contagious and can give it to others. With a machine like this, you don't get ill. So that's the justification for the price. How much would it be worth you to not get ill anymore for the rest of your life? Well, put that price tag on the cold plasma machine and go get you one.
I've saved money on dry cleaning. Don't have to send the comforter to the dry cleaners because it sterilizes everything. It sterilizes everything it touches. And I've dry cleaned my stuff by just turning it inside out and flipping it. My jackets, my winter jackets, my Chung Sam, and so if I count up all that, if I had sent it to the dry cleaner or clean out your ductwork, because it goes through the vents once you have enough of it in your house, goes through the point of least resistance, right? It's like liquid, right? Because it's plasma. Then you won't have to be cleaning your air filters for your furnace or your air conditioner very often, because it's heavier than air, so it will weigh down all the dust particles that you normally would see in the sunlight in your streaming. You'll see the dust particles in your air. You won't see that anymore because the dust particles are pushed to the ground and you just have to sweep it up. So you're not breathing in all those particulate things anymore. Anyways, one word. We were supposed to come out and end with one word, and then we can do a quick sparkle if you want to stay on for another 5 minutes or so. Yes? No? Yes? No? So the one word to carry us into 2025, each person, what's your one word for your 2025 thing?
Gratitude.
Nice. Okay. Next. Anybody else?
Consistency.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Accomplishment.
Okay, very good. Eric?
Honesty.
Honesty. Okay, and then mine, because I'm always into perfection. It doesn't sound very sexy, but I thought checked in. So, all of the above and checked in, because then it's all about staying neutral, keeping on track, that kind of thing. So, the word that will carry us through to make 2025 really good. Everybody, I think it's a good thing to have is a word. Before I forget, I almost forgot. December 31st, New Year's Eve, I just sent out a newsletter, a bulletin, right? New Year's Eve, I'm holding a special guided sparkle meditation at 7 o'clock Pacific, which is 10 o'clock Eastern time. And what it's going to be is everybody, if you want to join me, $25 for one intention. And it gets added into this special guided meditation. And then I'll pull it all together, and whoever is on, we'll go through this guided meditation together, bring in the new year with sparkled intentions. So it's not where you just have one, you have everybody else's intentions all packaged up nicely, going out to the world. And we're going to be adding in world intention. So who's ready for a sparkle? We're quite a bit over, but this was a special session. You're ready? Okay, good. Intentions, anybody want to voice it? You can share it with me now if you're not shy.
Energy.
Energy, okay.
healing of specifically teeth.
Teeth, okay. I have 5. Okay. Yeah. Anybody else?
Vibration.
Vibration, yeah, okay.
Stepping forward into my business.
Ah,
Yes.
okay. So amplifying, and then that, yeah, okay. So everybody's intention, we'll put it up there for everybody too, right? Okay. Alrighty. Okay. So get comfortable, seated, and then just allow yourself to see this beautiful tube of light coming from the heavens and going to the top of your head through the root chakra, and that beautiful energy, gold, silvery blue, speckled with silvery gold speckles, coming into your body, going wherever it needs to go, and just allow it to go to all the nooks, all the crannies, all the crevices, any which way, all the organs, into the cells. Just allow this beautiful cosmic energy to go wherever it needs to go, and then feel that energy circulating. Breathe in all the goodness, all the blessings, all the nourishment from the heavens, all the wisdom, and allow yourself to breathe out everything that doesn't serve you. Whether you know what it is or not, just breathe it out. Just allow it to leave. Just decide that whatever is not serving you can leave through the window, through the doors, through the cord at the bottom of your feet to your very own special crystal, where it gets cleansed with Mother Earth, grounding energy, healing energy, with the nurturing energy of Mother Earth. And allow that cleansed energy in the crystal to come back up and join this beautiful cosmic energy already moving in your body. And just breathe in all the goodness, all the blessings, all the nourishment, all the love, and then allow yourself to release everything that doesn't serve you. And just see your body coming into perfect harmony. All the parts, all the organs, all the cells, all the electrons, knowing exactly what they need to be doing to bring you to perfect optimum health. To energize your soul, your spirit, your body, your cells, your being. And then allow yourself to store that energy, whatever it is that you need, so you can use it later on when you really need it. Just allow that energy to come in right where your root chakra is, right about where your navel is. Just allow that energy in. Just breathe in all the goodness, all the blessings. Breathe out everything, the regrets, the sorrows, the fears, the angst, the turmoil, the trauma, the worry, the blame, the frustration, whatever it is, just allow that to leave through the window, through the doors, through the cord at the bottom of your feet to your very own special crystal, because that always is there for you. If it does want to get Mother Earth involved, healing and grounding and nurturing the energy, so it can be brought back up to you to join this lighter cosmic, love-filled energy from the heavens. Just feel yourself centering, getting aligned. And just see 2025, just because you're so special, all of you. See 2025 opening up with a beautiful gold light, expanding outwards, beaming outwards, beautifully abundant, beautifully productive, beautifully aligning with your own soul and spirit and core values, to see everything just beautifully opening up in front of you going into 2025 from this space of intention, of love, of connection, of community, in this space where we help and support and nurture and empower each other with nuggets of wisdom, sharings, authentically being who we are, standing in integrity and truth and love. And whoever else is on the call too, you can put your intentions up and they'll get sparkled as well. So just think about what your intentions are and you'll get sparkled right now too. Okay, so feel that energy coming into your dantian, right by your navel. Just allow that energy in. So it will power you through to the new year. Hopefully you will all join me if you're not doing anything New Year's Eve. Okay, so we'll put up those words. The words were accomplishment, frequency, energy, and then what was Catherine's business, right?
Consistency.
What was yours? Consistency. And then checked in. My unsexy word.
And Derek's was honesty.
Honesty, yes. Okay, I mixed it up. I was thinking frequency. That was what he wanted for the intention of the sparkle. Okay, how's the teeth?
Feeling good. We shall see.
What's different?
I'll test them out.
No testing, no testing, no testing. Okay, you either how did they feel before we started the sparkle? What did you notice before we started the sparkle?
They felt it were at rest, but I'm aware of an issue with one specific tooth.
Okay, but now when you think about that specific issue, about that specific tooth, how do you feel about that? Feel that thought again. Can you have the same feeling with the thought about that specific tooth and how you were worried about it before the sparkle? We're still sparkling, but
Oh, cool.
so think about the question, what I just said. When you thought about that tooth before we started the sparkle, how were you feeling? What were your emotions in your body, in your your whole being about when you had that thought? What
Okay,
was
yeah,
that thought?
I was
What was it for you?
concerned. I was
Okay.
concerned about the tooth, yeah.
Now, what's your feeling when you try and have that thought about that tooth? How do you feel about that thought about the tooth, about the concern you had for the tooth? Is it the same or is it different?
feels different.
It is different because you are different. So now the worst thing you can absolutely do is try and go test it, because then you're not trusting that somebody up there gave you a little result.
Ah.
Oh. So I'll tell you a little story. I had a lady, this was on a holiday, and young lady, and I'd worked with her before, and she phoned me up and she said she needed me to work with her. And she said, I'm sitting in my kitchen. I can't move left, right. I'm sitting straight up. I can't look left. I can't look right. I can't move my body. I can't do anything, because the minute she does anything, she gets a shooting pain from the back of her neck all the way down to her feet. Excruciating pain. And so she says, I need you to work on me right now. So I said, okay, give me 15 minutes, right? Because I said, how are you? She says, well, obviously it's not good if I wouldn't be phoning you right now. And so I worked on her, and after I was working on her, I started working. She started to go, oh, now I can do this. Oh, now I can do that. Oh, and I'm listening to her on the phone, because I'm on the phone working on her. And then all of a sudden she goes, yeah, okay, so now, and then after about an hour, she says, oh, now I can move my head up, I can lift my arms above my head, I can turn around, I can bend down, I can do everything. The only thing is she had a little soreness just pressing on where that originated, the pain originated, just soreness to the touch. And she says, and the next she took a breath and she says, okay, so I'm going to see my chiropractor. I said, hello? I said, didn't you just tell me you have none of the feel you can move? Whereas you couldn't do that, like, I know, a few minutes ago, right? So I said to her, you can get exactly back all of that right now if you continue on that train of thought. Because you will your body remembers what it feels like. It can just grab it and bring it right back. So either you trust that somebody up there gave you a miracle, or you can go down that path and decide that nothing happened, that it's just your imagination that you can move everywhere and you don't have any pain in anywhere anymore, and you can bend down and look around and everything's all hunky-dory good, right? Or you can just decide that nothing happened, that Michele is over there and there's no way she could have done anything. So your mind is playing tricks on you and you really didn't get rid of it. So she says, oh, I see. And then about a week later, she sends me an email and she says, well, she went to see the chiropractor, but she went for a check. Just went for a checkup. And she told the chiropractor what happened on the weekend. And the chiropractor says, well, she's good. She says, your checkup is good, but what you told me, something was out of place.